First and foremost, you've heard it before, I'm sure. People assume that everything's fake.
They do.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
It's all fake.
That's why it seems like things are going on all the time, because we edit it to be like that.
As anyone on YouTube does. You heard it here first. It's all fake.
Sam and Colby have been put under the cosh recently, and they have been asked a lot of very hard questions like, do they fake their paranormal videos? Is what they do fake? You know, like, they've basically been asked the questions that everybody wants to know. In a recent interview, we're on the Anthony Padilla podcast, or YouTube channel, I suppose, called Are Sam and Colby's Paranormal Videos Fake? And this is a very interesting one for me because obviously, you know, I'm a big fan of Sam and Colby. I don't particularly care if their videos are fake or not, but it's been widely speculated. And I am curious to see how they answer these questions. So, let's get into it. Obviously, I've skipped the intro. If you want to watch, I'm not going to watch the full video, but if you want to watch it, go over to the Anthony Padilla YouTube channel and you can watch it there.
First and foremost, you've heard it before, I'm sure. People assume that everything's fake.
They do.
Yeah. It's all fake.
It's all fake. You heard it here first. It's all fake.
See you next episode.
See you. Like and subscribe.
You're like, we're retired. This is our announcement video.
Peace, guys. But when you really look into it,
Imagine if that was like genuinely where they just left it. Like they genuinely left the question there. Like they didn't move. That was it. They moved on. Next question.
most of our stuff is not necessarily like always getting some spectacle thing or whatever. It's mostly about the experience of actually doing it. So our whole thing is we'll take people to these haunted places and just document whatever we get. Yeah. Sometimes that's a lot, sometimes it's little, sometimes it's nothing. A lot of people like also make the assumption like, oh, like if you're filming all these places, sometimes it doesn't happen, like things don't happen paranormally, right? And that's true. Like we have scrapped many videos in the past because it's just stuff doesn't happen all the time.
And a lot of these shoots are like 10 to 12 hours because we shoot overnight. And so our videos are usually around like 60 to 90 minutes. And so with 10 hours of footage, obviously we're gonna put like the best parts into the hour. That's why it seems like things are going on all the time because we edit it to be like that.
As anyone on YouTube does.
Right.
Don't want to include the super boring parts.
Sometimes we're just like waiting there for like an hour and we're like, well,
It's not
I
haunted.
guess this room is just not haunted. We gotta move on.
Do you like play games on your phone or do you just kind of sit there?
A lot of time just have conversations with ourselves, like amongst each other, and then we have guests that come to every single video, and so we'll like talk to them, and yeah, a lot of it's just like a waiting game.
It's fun, and that's
Surroundings.
actually like one of the bigger reasons why we started like having more guests on all the time. Like we used to have like a core group, or a lot of the time it was just me and Colby, and then we saw that it was such an interesting perspective to bring people that weren't into this world and like have them experience this too.
I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously that was one of the things that people have been criticizing Sam and Colby for recently, is every single time they have a video, there's always a problem, right? And there's always people who have something going on. But one of the biggest naysaying issues right now with Sam and Colby is, you know, having people in with them. It's not just Sam and Colby. It's Sam, Colby, and Selena Spooky Booze. Sam, Colby, Call Me Chris. Sam, Colby, whoever else, right? So it's interesting to hear the perspective on why they always have people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our guests, which is so funny, they come in being like, is this real? Like, they don't even believe us, and sometimes they're our friends. We're like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But then we have them experience it, and by the end, almost every single person that we've had on the channel, like, leaves being like, oh my God, wait, this is insane. Or like, my level of believing is so much higher than when we first started.
It's not like you can bring in guest after guest after guest and be like, we really need you guys to fake it.
Yeah.
Can
Come
you
on,
just
guys.
fake, like, there's a ghost there, I swear, just like, I swear.
Exactly.
Have you ever felt any pressure, like maybe there is a shoot or a thing that you've gone to, like, and you were, you know, you put a lot of effort and time into something and something wasn't happening?
The good thing about
This is an interesting question because basically what the guy's saying is like, look, you know, if it's a very quiet night, obviously you need to make the videos exciting. How do you make the videos exciting if it's going quiet? Do you make things happen?
the style that we do is we don't have to rely on those types of things. So if things don't happen, usually in the edit, we just rely more on the comedy and like the friend vibes and the adventure. So sometimes like if nothing happens, then much more of the video, which was what people see, is just us exploring or, you know, playing games with each other, playing pranks and stuff, and it's just less about the paranormal.
People think
Interesting. The next part is talking about how they believe, or people believe, that these guys are better than TV paranormal investigators, obviously with the likes of Zach Baggins and stuff. A lot of people, whenever I put up polls and it's like, what do you prefer, paranormal TV or paranormal YouTube? Everybody, well, not everybody, but the large majority say paranormal YouTube because it's more free reign, it's more exciting and stuff. Let's see what they have to say.
That you believe that you guys are better than all of the reality TV ghost hunters.
That's
we
true.
are.
Okay, good.
Next question.
Next question. I respect that answer a lot. I think that's good.
Is that
The
bad?
confidence is key.
Does everybody think we're conceited? Do people know we're joking? No, we're better than everybody else, actually.
People assume that
I was hoping they would touch more on that. Obviously, they've got a good relationship from the looks of it with the likes of Zach Baggins and stuff because they filmed together and stuff. But, you know, they were never going to say anything bad about Zach, were they? Anyway, the next assumption, or I'm going to glaze through it and I'm just going to, you know, pick out the parts that intrigue me the most is them apparently disrespecting the dead, which is a huge thing that a lot of people state.
follow up to that, like, what would you say to people that might say that you're, like, disrespecting these places or these spirits or whatever is there?
I do think there's an element to that in the paranormal world, but we try not to do that. I just if you watch our videos, yeah, we joke around, but always at the expense of each other and or our guests, not at the expense of the place. We never want to actually disrespect the history or the spiritual energy there. We do like have fun. Like it's a fun gig to be like exploring with your friends. But all of our jokes and stuff are to each other and stuff because again, like we're not trying to disrespect anybody. And honestly, we've seen time and time and time again that the more respectful we are, usually the better the activity is. So if you have that perception of us, I challenge you to watch our videos.
Some people assume that nothing scares you anymore.
I mean, that's a fair response, I guess. You know, they don't really, you know, say outright, no, we don't disrespect the dead or whatever. But, you know, I guess they kind of answer the question. Not exactly to the standard that I would have wanted them to, but, you know, interesting. You know, let's have a little skim through here. So obviously there's a lot to go over. They go over so many different things. This is an interesting question. Sam and Colby want to go back to their early exploring days. Let's have a look at that.
People assume that you want to go back to some of your early exploring days.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. Like, I miss the exploring content. Like, we used to do a bunch of, like, urbex where we would, like, not break in physically to abandoned places, but find a way to sneak
Not
in.
break in.
Yeah, don't incriminate yourselves in that one, guys.
If you're watching and you're a cop.
For legal purposes,
This was years
never
ago,
broke
okay?
and enter. We
Please
never broke
please
and
don't arrest us. But yeah, no, I miss those like sort of adventures where we're like evading security and stuff like that, and just like getting into these spots. I miss that adrenaline.
That was something that we did as friends prior to this whole YouTube journey. The exploring stuff, that was just something we would do in our free time, no matter what, like explore abandoned places.
And in 2025, we are like planning to bring those old Sam and Colby vibes back to the main channel. So exclusive.
Yeah, wow, we have not told people
I'm
about that.
sorry that I just
I'm so
spilled those
glad that
beans.
we spilled the beans and we talked about that because we talk about everything.
It's because you just feel so open around it, right?
Exactly.
It's just such an inviting and warm presence.
Get excited.
People think that maybe you feel pigeonholed into like kind of paranormal like content. Do you ever feel that,
Interesting.
you know, you wish you could do something maybe completely different than like, you know, the kind of stuff that you do now?
We love Haunted so much, but they're very right. We are pigeonholed. We have tried to do like other content in the past, and it just didn't do well for the channel. A lot of people enjoyed it, but like in comparison to the views, it just didn't hit as hard as the Haunted. But we are
At least he's open and honest about that. You know, a lot of people would cower behind, like, they wouldn't want to say, oh, I'm doing it for the views. But, you know, he did. Respect that. You know, hats off to him, because a lot of people wouldn't actually be that open about this situation and about, you know, doing that. But, you know, he was. And I got to take my hat off to him. Fair play.
so happy where we're at. Like, we love what we do.
And there's a lot of different things. Like when people are like, oh, like paranormal, whatever, you're pigeonholed there. There's a big genre of things to do in that world. Like we still get to travel. We still get to, you know, we're making movies now. It's like all these cool things. Like just because it is this one genre doesn't mean there's not plenty of other things to do. And if we did have different ideas, we have like other platforms and we have our personal channels and we work on other projects outside of just this. So maybe at first we were scared of it feeling like that, but when we really dive into it, we realize there's like such a big world for us to like adventure.
I don't know about
Fair enough. There you go. That's where I'm going to stop it. Obviously, go over to the Anthony Padilla YouTube channel if you want to check out the full podcast episode, because it was a very interesting one, to say the very least. I've watched the large majority of it. I haven't watched all of it, but I kind of cherry-picked what I wanted to involve in the video here, because it's like the questions that tend to crop up, especially on the Sam and Colby subreddit. It's topics that we've been talking about on this channel for a very long time. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.